Ready. Play.
Naomi Osaka against Hailey Baptiste. There's a kind of little surprise element to both players. I'll come to Hailey in a moment, but we'll begin with Naomi. I mean, the Naomi one is that she's very much blowing hot and cold pretty much since her comeback. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
her comeback. Of course, I'm still fixated with that match with Iga Swiatek, but in some ways, even that match where there were moments when I think in the first set when you thought, okay, Iga's going to take control, and then Naomi just goes on an incredible run from the beginning, I think, of the second set, and then all the way till probably midway through the third, where she's just playing the best clay court tennis she's probably played in her life against the best clay court tennis player in the world, and maybe even going to be one of the best clay court players of all time. And then ultimately sort of having a dip near the end and falling just short. Now, I'm sort of bringing that into a sort of bigger sort of post return to the tour scenario, because it does seem to be she's either playing unbelievable tennis, or you're thinking, wow, she's showing signs that she needs more reps, or she's been away from the tour for a while, or the tour has changed, And even in her first round match here, I got some of those vibes. I mean, she was really struggling at times. Well, I say that. I paid quite a close attention. I pretty much watched the entire Well, no, I need to correct myself. So her first round match here in Miami against Starodubtseva. How did I do on the pronunciation there, Eddie?
I think he did all right there. It was pretty good.
I sort of broke it up. I was on social media at one point, having not seen the first 6 or 7 games, and people were like in a meltdown about Naomi's performance and blah, blah, blah. I expected to tune in actually and find out that she was down a set and a break. That's how I was getting the vibes of. As it turned out, she was just down a break in the first set. But what I would say is the eye test from the minute I tuned in until the end of the match, Naomi was the better player on her racket. It's on her racket against probably 80% of the tour anyway, especially on a hard court. But it was sort of there was a gap, and it was just like, it's gonna come right for Naomi. I kept thinking, I almost put out a tweet like, I don't know why everyone's panicking. Naomi's gonna win this match. However, she did get dangerously close to losing it because she was down a break in the second as well. So, my faith in her in this particular match was starting to wobble a bit. It would have wobbled even more if I'd put out a social media post saying, don't worry, she's winning this. But I thought that the tennis was there, and she did sort of manage to come from that very sort of, she grabbed victory from the jaws of defeat, if you like. But then today against Samsonova, wow, 6-2, 6-4.
Yeah, that's a very impressive result. And yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like, obviously, she's been back at the tour for it's more than a year now, right? But she's but she's blowing hot and cold. But she's definitely shown that she has that extremely high level in her. I mean, obviously, we talked about the Swiatek match, but even this year, right? I mean, unfortunately, she had to retire in the third round in the Australian Open, but that match against Mukova, when she was down a set, but then came back so strong, like she was just out hitting Mukova, and but then follows it up. I mean, obviously the injury, that was unfortunate. I mean, that's part of it as well. She's been a bit unlucky because she had to retire in Auckland and then in Australia. But then first match back, Indian Wells, it was pretty bad. But she said herself she thought it was like the worst she'd ever played. I mean, in terms of, there was a lot of errors, right? So that she shouldn't be making. So, I mean, I think, it's just one of it. We sort of comparing her to how she was before the break, and obviously, she was number one and won multiple slams, but and she has shown that level at times. But yeah, it's in terms of like it's the consistency that she needs to be able to actually do well and win events and get back up to that sort of top 10 level, right? And yeah, I mean, I think she showed that today, like with her how well she was hitting. I mean, when she's playing well, you know, I don't know if there's anyone better than her at actually striking a tennis ball. You know, I mean, that's, you know, one of, if not the best out there on, you know, so yeah, she's obviously got that in here. And when I remember looking at the draw before the tournament and saying, like, you know, it's not that bad, and it's really just if she's got to bring that level more consistently. Yeah, so maybe this is a chance for her to do it. I mean, Baptiste, I think they played actually in it was in Auckland, right? Yeah, and she lost that first set, but then came back pretty strong. So I think she's going to get it done again. I think she's going to win again. But yeah, obviously the little doubts just come in from in terms of like, you know, because some of these odd performances here and there. But I think now that she's got over that, you know, that first round match, and for the most part, like, you know, I think I've been fairly encouraged by her performances. So yeah, I think obviously it's being in Miami as well, but on this court, I think it does suit her pretty well. So I do think, yeah, she will get it done. But yeah, I mean, Hailey Baptiste, I guess we can't you know, ignore that she's come through a pretty impressive performance against Kasatkina. But of course, you know, Kasatkina's different stylistically to Naomi. Yeah, so Naomi, she comes out, she plays, you know, even 80% of what she was today. She should be able to get it done, I think.
Yeah, I'm going for a straight sets win for Naomi as well. I mean, Baptiste has done well to get to this stage. Obviously, 3-set wins over Danilovic, and then today Kasatkina. In fact, I was thinking as you were talking about the style differences between Kasatkina and Naomi, and maybe you can't get really much more different in terms of their you know, approach to the sport in many respects, and what they have and what they do. And one more thing I think on Naomi before I'm going for Naomi. I'm going to go with a straight sets win as well. I think that the cobwebs or whatever it was in the first round, that she needed to just come through it, and she did come through it, and she still played points and games and streaks in that match, really like just unbelievable tennis. But it was very streaky, that first round that she had, and probably against an even more capable opponent, she may well have been punished. But having got through that, you know, I see now you know, a great straight sets win today over Samsonova. And of course, Samsonova has already won a 1,000 this year. But having gone through those two matches in contrasting fashion, I see Naomi getting the job done against Baptiste in straight sets. One final thing on Naomi, though, is that I do see there's a run, there's a 1,000 title, a slam final. She's 27. It's there. It can be. It's, you know, we were just seeing it in flashes at the moment, and of course you need to do a lot more. But we know it's been there in the past, and we're seeing it in a bit more than flashes. We're seeing it in certain sustained periods, but she can't quite keep it going over the course of 7 or 14 days at the moment. But I think we're not that far away. I think the problem is, of course, after after Miami, we're going to come up to the clay court season, and there it might just be a case of, you know, getting as many points as she can. I don't see too many sort of finals or titles, but that's okay. And then grass is sort of probably, I was going to say, hit and miss, but there's a 1,000 title in her in the next 18 months if she doesn't get too deterred by a rough bunch of results. You know, she could, you know, have a rough clay court season, have a rough grass court season, maybe doesn't hit the ground running in North America in August, and that really puts her off so much that, you know, that she can carry it into one tournament, into the next tournament, that it might deter her. But if she can avoid that, you know, that those hits, if she can take the bumps in the road, it's there. it's there. You know, she's winning a big title at some point in the next 18 months. You know, that's my view on it.
Yeah, just as long as her body holds up, you think
Yeah.
there's a good chance of it happening.
I mean, it could happen here in Miami. Just looking at her draw, that once you mentioned it, she'll play if she wins against Baptiste, she'll play the winner of Ons Jabeur or Jasmine Paolini in the round of 16.
Mm.
I think that'll be a really close one. It'll be really tough. Paolini and Jabeur and you know, they've had incredible highlights on the tour over the last couple of years between them. But I think right now in Miami, that court, the way Naomi played today, and I think she'll continue to get better. I think she's got a 60-40 chance of winning that match. Of course, you want it to be greater than that, but, you know, and then she's in the quarters. And in the quarters, she would be playing one of Coco Gauff, Maria Sakkari, Magdalenette, or Linda Fruhvirtova. So, you know, Coco Gauff is obviously the warm favorite, I guess, amongst those four. A Coco Gauff, Naomi Osaka, Miami quarterfinal. It's a popcorn match, and yeah, I guess all things being equal, Coco will be a slight favorite there. But if she's got that far, you know, and even if she was to lose in the quarters here, it would be an unbelievable step forward compared to where we were just over a week or two ago in Indian Wells when you said that she had the worst match, arguably the worst match of her career. And it's certainly the way she put it.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I mean, also like what bodes well, I think she has done well. It's just the body that's let her down. You know, like I mean, when she's played big players, like she's done well. I mean, she beat just seeing the results. I mean, back to US Open, she beat Ostapenko, but then okay, she lost to Mukova, but that's that's no shame in that. But then like she lost, she was up a set against Coco Gauff in Beijing, and then had to retire.
Yeah, she was going to win that one.
And obviously this year we talked about Mukova. So yeah, I mean that she's got that level in her, and yeah, just unfortunate with the injuries. Hopefully, if her body holds up here, then yeah, I think she absolutely can win. And yeah, a victory against Jabeur Paolini. I mean, a match like that, she should be relishing it, I'm sure. And then potentially, yeah, Coco. So
I think she beats Paolini. If that is Paolini, I'd be more confident about that one. Jabeur, don't know. Depends on that'd be a fascinating match, whichever one it is, Paolini or Jabeur. But I think she's probably got a better chance against Paolini. I know Paolini can defend very well, but I just think eventually she will, just overpower one way or another. Jabeur, I would make. I think Naomi could well beat Jabeur as well. I just think it would be a very different match, and Jabeur has weapons in her own way that could hurt Naomi, but that is to come. First of all, she has Baptiste. That's by no means certain. They had a 3-setter in Auckland at the beginning of the year, but on this occasion, I think Naomi's going to get the job done in straight sets. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.